Welcome to Rich's era. Donald Trump's team was warned by White House professional person Eric Hirschman regarding the previous president's linguistic communication. A sworn court statement authenticating inaccurate proof of citizen fraud, Axios reports. Before we continue, please support us by clicking on the subscription button and turn on the notification bell for more reliable updates. What happened? Hirschman's emails shared by the publication showed that he was involved about Trump's lawyers making ready to file a case against Georgia Governor Brian Kemp and the state's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger around Gregorian calendar month 2020. A near-final draft was sent by former Trump advisor Cleta Mitchell to Hirschman on December 30, 2020, and another draft was sent each day later. That was purported to be a version from John Eastman, who was functioning on overturning the state's election results, and enclosed Hirschman's edits as well, the report said. In his reply on December 31, 2020, Hirschman said, "I didn't send John edits. I explained that I used to be involved regarding the president's linguistic communication, a verification about facts that will not be property upon elaborate scrutiny. I feel we should always limit specific factual number allegations to those who are necessary, i.e. those allegations that demonstrate that the choice is outcome determinative." Hirschman's email shared by Axios showed why it's important. The revealing comes against the backcloth of U.S. District Court Judge David Carter stating in a very court filing wed that Trump signed legal documents alleging instances of fraud within the 2020 election, even once he knew the allegations were false. The judge's opinion was filed in response to Eastman's case against the January Vi Choose committee, which has wanted emails from him that he declined to show over, citing attorney-client privilege. Trump additionally effort to remain in power despite losing the 2020 presidential election has resulted in congressional, federal, and native investigations. However, reactionary efforts to finish democracy still lack two important components, in keeping with associate Stalinism expert Andrea Pitzer is that the author of the 2017 book One Long Night: A Worldwide History of Concentration Camps, and explained her perspective in a thread posted to Twitter on Saturday. "I was within the middle of writing my history of concentration camps once Trump declared his political campaign in 2015, Pitzer wrote. He did such a big amount of distressing things sooner than the election. Folks asked me if the red flags meant inevitable disaster, if we have a tendency to we're doomed to repeat grim 20th century history. It was all actually alarming, and that history in many parallels in essays I wrote at the time. However, I additionally noted some key variations therein, moment elements that distinguish 2015 and 2016 from the worst historical moments," she explained. Organized paramilitary violence in support of Trump or his platform was limited. There have been not Praetorian Guard enforcement agencies whose allegiance he had absolutely cultivated. Several within his own party were willing to decision him out as a threat or mock his legitimacy. In Cut of 2016, Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, "If we nominate Trump, we are going to get destroyed, and that we will be it." However, on Friday, Graham appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court with a Hail Mary pass to avoid testifying regarding his role in finding votes for Trump in Georgia. Unfortunately, despite Trump's loss of the election in 2020, he has remained a big threat to the country, and currently several of these factors that were missing in 2015 are now in place, beside other conditions that risk destabilizing the election process, she said. That said, there are two key areas still missing from the common model for ending democracy and establishing robust authoritarian rule: unambiguous support from the military and a court system willing to systematically defer to the executive, Pitzer explained. "I suppose it not possible for the military and courts to surrender eventually. However, he not there yet. And neither is the other Trump rival. I provide this to not reassure, but instead to say there's still area to work. Over 50% of surveyed voters read him somewhat terribly unfavorably," Pitzer concluded. "Having fully grown up in a very Christian nationalist household, I'm pretty responsive to what Trump supporters wish and also the harm they're willing to do. However, they're not a majority, and there's still time